know the origin of idols? There is nothing like idols on earth until a man who lost his son wanted to immortalize him. He made an image effigy of his son and placed it in his garden, where he sits with his own people and noblemen. This man was a great man. If the devil wants to use something, he will use a soul, because this man was a great man of great affluence and nobility. He was so wealthy. He was so rich. He was so pompous and arrogant. He loved riches and wealth and loved his son so very, very much that when this son died, he carved out an effigy, because what you can see there, they are great men of writing, people who could write on stones and carve, because they have been given the knowledge from God. So this man instituted the monument of his son who was dead, and called people to follow him and mourn over the monument of that of his son, and people continued to come. At a point when people came, he would give them many gifts. He would give them a lot of treasures, and they would go home because he was celebrating the exit of his son. He wanted his son to still live again. Is it possible? He built his own statue and called the whole world to worship it. Can you now see the example, because it had been done before? So as this continued, the man mourned and mourned. God is too jealous, and he hates comparison. When this thing was going on, this man began to offer sacrifices to that son of his. Do you know the reason for doing it? Some deceitful astrologers, soothsayers, these sham people, magicians, came to his house and told him that there was a possibility of his child coming back to him again. And he asked them, how do I do this? Now he is instigating this error. Can you tell me the person who is instigating this error? The devil. The devil was the one instigating this error, because he knew and wanted to do what God has proposed in the plan in heaven. God had said, I will come down and dwell with these people, and they will not depart from me. And the devil said the only way he could make these people turn away from God was by bringing an image of him for people to serve. And this man said he was going to do what the soothsayers and the magicians told him, that once he put sacrifices, pours blood on wine offerings, his son will come back and live with him. As an obsession of wickedness, this man began to pour libation. He began to kill rams, kill goats, and all kinds of animals. In fact, he built a portion around that monument where he pours this blood, waiting for his son to come back to life. Do you know what happened next? Without his knowing it, he was invoking the beast of the earth. And that beast came and dwelt in that effigy made by him, and began to appear to him in the dream and was telling him, I am coming to the earth, not knowing that the one that was doing that was Lucifer himself. I am trying to tell you the origin of the Antichrist. As this was going on, the man continued to pay homage, and people were gathering around his house because of the rams and the sacrifices he made. They will cook the meat and be feasting on it, and after that, they started being drunk. After eating and feasting on the wines and the treasures the man supplied, most of them were vomiting. Most of them ate and started behaving like drunks. They started misbehaving, and the man would no longer know that this is a man, and the woman would no longer know that this is a woman. And they started misbehaving around that monument. That is the origin of perversion and promiscuity. And that is when the evil on earth now ripened to the greatest level in order to boomerang and overshadow the whole earth. Then God said, hold it, Jesus Emmanuel shall come. And if Jesus Christ did not come the way he came, he wouldn't have penetrated, because the earth is already filled with all kinds of orgies. And that was why, in order to make you come home, we must be like you. He did it by doing what? Can't you see he did it without people knowing? He came like a thief. So, when this man continued doing this thing, it was enlarging, and immediately they built a house around the monument and called it a temple, and immortalized it, and they called it the temple of the flowing blood. And in another language, you can call it Yashika, Yashika. You can see the origin of all these things in the Roman time, the Greek Empire, the powers and the pyramids in Egypt. So many things were taking place, and these were great wicked kingdoms, especially in Egypt. The whole thing started from Egypt, and when these things came, they started finding other means of dethroning the heart of God. But it was not possible, because God had created men of affluence and nobility in that city so much. And that was why God put a curse in that city and said, Egypt will no longer be the way it is. It shall be a place of jackals, a desert where there will be no food, where every glory will be stripped off from Egypt. And Egypt lived on without the light of God, and the demons that were living in Egypt were far more numerous. So why I have been called to tell you this is for you to be praying for one another, that love might penetrate, because when you pray, we use your prayers to fight. So the man built this monument, and the beast entered into it. Which beast are we talking about? Lucifer is the beast that deceived the human race into error. He entered, and you can see the nature he used to deceive man is in the nature of the snake, the cunning serpent, and he was overthrown. And in the hearts of men he conquered. He made a dwelling place so that people all over the world can come and worship it. And as I told you, Nebuchadnezzar became the man that was of significance in the beast. So, Nebuchadnezzar was now telling people that they must worship the golden statue. Who did he make in that statue? Whose image was found in that statue? His image, the image of Nebuchadnezzar, and that was Lucifer himself, because before he entered into the young man that died, but now he has appeared to tell you that he was the one that started the journey into the enthronement of his immortality inside the soul of a man. Is it possible? No. And you can see the golden age came, and it was like a blossoming time, and the people felt they were at peace, because in heaven God was already making out his own strategic plan. So, the origin of this beast that I am telling you is what you can hear today as the Antichrist, which is as old as the world itself. The reason he has chosen human beings to be the place of his dwellings is because he used human beings to start the first immortalization. So now the Antichrist has appeared. He is looking for corridors of power in order to get into nations. He is not interested in individuals. He knows that once he gets the president of a nation, the rest are a foregone story. So his tactics is to move into the hearts of the leaders, especially the ambassadors of a king. And that is where he goes to dwell, and he will later make himself to be seen physically by everybody. That is why you are being told and forewarned